Our hearts are heavy with grief as we announce the death of our beloved Anthony Flavius, affectionately known as Tony and Brother Love, originally of La Grasse Labrie, but resided at Caco Babonneau. He passed away at the St. Jude Hospital on Friday, December 12, 2025. He was 64 years old. He was the former president of the Independent Market Taxi Association and a taxi driver TX159. He preached occasionally at the Faith Outreach Ministry and was a preacher of the Refuge Temple Ministry. He was predeceased by his father, Anderson Joseph, also known as Ander, stepfather, William Rene, left to mourn his beloved mother, who was also his caregiver, Selina Shirley Rene of Barrage, Labrie. His daughter, Samara Emmanuel of Castries. His brothers, Boniface Flavius in St. Thomas, Harry Rene in St. Martin, Curtis Rene, bus driver en route Labrie to Vieux-Fort, Bertie Rene in Saba, Timothy Prosper and family of La Quamingo, Cuthbert Duval and family in France, his sisters, Jennifer Flavius in Martinique, Juliana Elva in the USA, Matilda Rene Bravel in St. Martin, Berlin Rene in Canada, Lindy Rene, manager of Beauty Bliss store in Vieux-Fort, Josephine Augustine and Carmen and family resided in the United Kingdom. Angela Alexander, also known as Pena, and family in the USA. Marceline in Antigua. Adopted sister Naya Gittins of Bocage and her daughter Giselle Rosamond. Nieces Rosemary and family. Joyce George of Bocage, employee at Massey Store City Store. Primita Augustine of Marigot and family. Gloria George and family in Canada. Elizabeth St. Ange and family in the USA. Keisha Riviere in the USA. Kadisha Richards in the USA. Bonisha Gittins in Bexar. Lise Elva in the USA. Curlin Elva in the USA. Lydia Rene in St. Martin. Sarah Mathre in Canada. Rochelle Rene of Cedar Heights, Vieux-Fort. Nephews, Miguel St. Ange in the USA. Gaël Lalos in France. Kirtland Rene of Londonderry, Saltibus. Hagan Rene of Cedar Heights, Vieux-Fort. Caleb Rene in Saba. Ernil Bravel in St. Martin. Jalen Elva in the USA. Quinlan Rosalie of Beauséjour. Kyle Rosalie of Beauanger Labrie. Bernie Rene in St. Martin. Jonathan Duval. Grandnephew Antoine George. Uncles Stanley Flavius of Labrie. Patrick Joseph, also known as Mano, of Cedar Heights, Vieux-Fort. Magnus Beausoleil, Baptiste Beausoleil, Miranda Beausoleil, all in St. Thomas. Deceased uncles. Hawkins Joseph and family. Rembert Leroy Flavius and family. Delbridge Flavius and family. Aunts Loretta Rennie and also her husband Cecil Rennie and family. Merita Flavius of Labrie. Joycelyn Flavius of Castries. Apollina Paul in the USA. Sisters-in-law Emma Rennie in St. Martin. Malini Rennie in Saba. Brothers-in-law Ernest Bravel in St. Martin. Stephen Elva in the USA. Gino Augustin in Martinique. Cousins Kevan Flavius in Labrie. Imbert Rennie in St. Martin. Anthony Joseph of Kako Babano, and many more too numerous to mention. His beloved godmother, Eileen Joyer in the USA. His caregiver, who was also his cousin, Anselma Eugene. Close friends, Brother Auguste of Forster, Pastor John Lafayette, Pastor Lucius Augustine, also known as Jeffrey, of Faith Outreach Ministry, and church members in Darfur. Pastor Joseph from Martinique, Pastor Vernon Stephen, Sister Rosalind Joseph, Sister Cecil Octave, Stephanie Williams. Friends, Herman Nichols, his next-door neighbor and family of Kako Babano, Myron Zephyrin of Bocage, Ivor James in Dominica, Coletta and Samuel Moses and family of Kako Babano, JJ and family from Dominica, Bishop Chris and Assistant Pastor Adrian Louis from the Refuge Temple Ministry, Ruder James from Dominica, Anthony Prevel of Kako Babano, Benny Ajuda, Harry Jean-Baptiste of Labrie, Pastor John Joseph, members of the La Grace Evangelical Church, including Pastor Robert and wife, Jonathan Hunt and wife. Special thanks to his neighbors, friends, and church members who visited him during his illness. Also left to mourn the Flavius family, the Joseph family, the Eugene family, the Rene family, the Saintage family, the Duval family, the entire taxi association and taxi drivers, the Castries Arcade Market, and also the vendors, his neighbors of Kako Babano, the community of La Grace and surroundings, other relatives both here and abroad too numerous to mention. The funeral service of the late Anthony Flavius, affectionately known as Tony and Brother Love, will be held at the Victory Pentecostal Church on St. Jude Highway, Vieux-Fort, on Friday, January 16, 2026, at 2 p.m. Thereafter, his body will be laid to rest at the Michael O'Brien Private Cemetery. Please note, minibus driver Tanteno and Orbs will be passing through Bans, La Grace, and La Ho to transport persons to and from the funeral service. His body now lies at Rambali's funeral parlor, La Tournée, Vieux-Fort. May he rest in peace.